Yes, indeed, we are still with the mother, and the most incredible thing has happened. A little cub has come to join her. It is the cutest thing on earth, but we can only see bits of it through the foliage at the moment. But she's called again, and we only see one at the moment, and she's called again, so we're hoping that the second cub will join her. Can you see there the little bits of fluff poking? Ah! Too sweet. And we were actually talking the other day about whether they'll climb up the tree. They're so little. But indeed, this little one climbed right up that tree. No problem at all. Now, these two are lazing about in this marula tree. Not unlike the other day when I saw her. And she was doing the exact same thing, a different marula tree, but generally the exact same thing. So I'm waiting here for the second cub. And while I do that, let's learn a little bit more about what she's been up to this past week. Now, that was just as she was earlier this week, hanging about in the trees. But I was not so lucky last week to see the cub, so this week I'm ecstatic. Nothing like starting off on Monday with a little leopard cub, is there? Now, just wish you just move around just a little bit, Baba. Vivi would like to know which Xidulu around is it worrying that we haven't seen Thandi? Not particularly, at least not yet. Xidulu occupies a different territory to Thandi. Thandi is basically the central sort of area of Djuma, whereas Xidulu is more the western boundary and into the neighboring reserves. So their boundaries don't overlap, and with that happening, they both have their space. There really won't be an issue unless one of them cross each other's boundaries. So yeah, it's not... Oh, now look at how fluffy that fur is compared to the adult Xidulu next to her. Or him. We're not sure the sex of the cubs just yet. It's quite hard to tell really the sex of any animal when they're quite young, unless they are very sexually dimorphic. That means really different looking. Oh, there he comes down. Hello. Oh, just the cutest thing. Fluffy, so fluffy. Well, we're going to sit here and wait for the second one to come announce themselves. Oh, see. The cub came out, and now I think we have to spend a little bit more time with them before we head off. Stunning. I'm so excited to have seen them. Where's your other little one, Xidulu? Hey, Mum. I just want to jump on your back. It's so beautiful to see this interaction. It's too cute. Even Faith is losing it in FC. It's so cute, she says. And look at that little tail. May, oh, look at your stunning eyes. May wants to know how old the cubs are now. Well, the cubs were thought to have been born in December. So we'll say January, February. I would say 2 months and a bit. We're not sure about the date in December. So I would go for 2 months and a bit. Tiny thing. Now look at that fur and how fluffy it is, because that needs to insulate that cub really well. It's sort of like down feathers in a chick when you see a bird chick, and you know that the adult plumage is really different to when they're chicks, and it's because they need to be well insulated because they're young. Just like that, these little cubs need to be well insulated and kept warm. Crazy legs. Do I know the specs of the cubs? I was just thinking, 6'4", muscular build, dark, handsome. No. Oh, sex of the cubs. I thought specs. No, we don't know the sex of the cubs. That's what I was talking about a little bit earlier there. I'm not sure the sex of the cubs, but the more they grow, the easier it'll become to tell. But speaking of the specs of the cubs, at birth they would have been between 400 and 600 grams. And at about 3 months, they would be about 3 kgs. So we are probably looking at about almost 2 kgs, I would say. But can you imagine how tiny that is? You just scoop him up. And already engaging in such leopard-like behavior. Really is the sweetest thing. Oh, look at those eyes. Oh. Oh, Carla B, they indeed are incredibly fuzzy. And look at those eyes. Those eyes look like I'm new to the world. This is all new to me. Big, bright eyes. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, this cub is having the time of its life. It has just slinked its way down a very unstable looking branch. We actually all kind of gasped thinking it's going to fall out of the tree, but no, it proved exactly why it is a leopard. Can you see that little branch dangling to the bottom there? It's all the way down, but held on tight, and then he made his way back up. Now it's kind of just giving Mum a bit of a lick, and it was also biting Mum. Oh, there we go. And Mum is not even, just like, yes, you go for it, you go for it. Oh. Now all of this is really, really important for their development. It's going to be biting, going to be scratching, climbing up the trees, falling out of the trees. Paula would like to know how high up in the tree they are. They're about, I'd say about 2.5 meters or so up into the tree, maybe 3 meters up into the tree. I'd say 2 meters, so 3 meters. It's about 9 foot. Yeah, almost 10 feet. But if he does fall, if this cub does fall, very likely that it would be on his feet, or she would be on her feet, just like a house cat, very much like that. Now, Rosalind asked, for how long will these cubs stay with Mum? Well, the most common age is for about 18 months or a year and a half that they will actually be with the Mum. At a year and a half they're independent. So before that they're still partially reliant on Mum, if not totally. Well, if you look at Tlalamba, she's still sort of reliant on Mum. She's still associating with her. She's not completely independent yet. So these guys still have, or this guy at the moment still has a fair few months with Mum before they have to go out into the big bad world. Still keeping an eye out for the other cub. Oh, Xidulu, maybe other cub's not so brave and you need to go down and get it.